Welcome to my Beginner Melt and Pour series. Today, I'm going to help you choose a melt and pour base that best suits your needs. Let's dive in and learn about glycerin soap. Follow the chapters if you want to skip right to my recommendations. The images you see today are just something to watch while I talk too much. Me cutting and melting soap, and later a lather test. Glycerin soap is created with a hot process using oils, water, and lye. Like all true soap, there is no residual lye in your melt and pour soap base, nor any other properly made soap, but it is made using lye. You can learn to make your own glycerin soap, but not from me. I will recommend a few tutorials for creating glycerin soap from scratch in the description. Cold and hot process soap makers choose oils, butters, and other ingredients to create many types of soap with various properties. If you're buying a pre-made melt and pour base, how do you customize it like that? Well, mostly you don't. First, and most important, is to start with a base that is closest to what you want in a soap. Randomly using additives to improve a soap, which likely will not work, may very well destroy the integrity of your soap, as in completely break down the chemical composition so you don't even have soap anymore. The more things you add, the riskier that becomes. Later in my Beginner Melt and Pour series, we will be conducting some experiments to play with this idea, and you may be surprised by some of the results. I have so many experiments planned, including one you'll see me begin in this video. Look, I refuse to become the soap police, but I do hope to inform you of risks and encourage you to do your own research. Obviously, depending upon the restrictions where you live, you make your own choices. My suggestion: avoid buying a soap base and thinking, I'll just add a little shea butter to make it more moisturizing. Just buy a shea butter base if that's what you're looking for. So where do you start? First, ask yourself this question. What is the most important thing for you in creating a soap? Skin feel? The design? Lather? Bar hardness? Skin sensitivities? Maybe eco-friendly or vegan is most important for you. You might be thinking, wow, this sounds like a lot of research for a basic soap for my kid's teacher. And you'd be right. But I've seen so many people in the soap world, myself included, who've wasted a lot of money and time by not understanding what they are buying. Here are some suggestions and thoughts to consider as you make this choice. For the skin feel, you may want to look for soap bases containing milks, butters, moisturizing oils, and other luxurious ingredients, such as tussa silk or aloe vera. But please know this: what feels good to one person can feel awful to the next. Soap is highly personal, and skin feel is very subjective. This is why I encourage you to test various types and brands. Okay, so how do you test? Plain soap. No fragrance, no oils, no colorants, nothing. Just a small chunk. When people are new to using glycerin soap, they can confuse the feeling of not having their skin stripped of oils from the commercial soaps that they are used to and mistake it for dryness or tightness or a film after rinsing. This is why I always suggest to customers or newbies that they assess 3 times before totally judging a soap. The first, lather and rinse, then assess it again about 3 to 5 minutes after you dry your hands. You want them really thoroughly dry. And then about 2 to 3 days after using that soap exclusively. Unless you have some kind of obvious reaction, I recommend using only one kind of soap for a few days and then make your final assessment. Take notes because you'll thank me later for that. Is your design the main focus? If so, choose a soap base with more open or work time, usually meaning a lower melting point. and higher clarity if you intend to create clear soaps. An example of a low melting point is about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember that the color of the soap base will affect your design. A white base will give you pastel to bright-ish colors at best, never dark, intense colors, never black. I will always recommend Crafter's Choice Premium Crystal Clear Soap for the best options in design, and I'm not paid to say so. It is my go-to, and I haven't found another soap that matches its clarity in combination with open working time. I haven't tried every brand under the sun, so please do your own research. Also, I'm in the US, and this base isn't available or approved for worldwide use. Is the lather the most important thing for you? If so, look for premium, prime type soaps. They usually have mild detergents added and create a big bubbly lather. Several of the manufacturers list a bubble or lather description on their websites. Many types of detergent-free soaps also have amazing lather, especially if you are not incorporating too many additives. Detergent-free goat's milk is one that I find lathers extremely well. Many others give you a lovely creamy lather. If the thought of detergents added bothers you, but you still want to try a soap base with extra bubbles, try looking for one using sodium lauryl sulfate, or SLES, rather than sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS. They are not the same thing, but they are frequently confused with each other. SLES, or sodium lauryl sulfate, is not as harsh on the skin. Later, I'll be doing an entire video on lather, but as a beginner, your best bet is to be careful what you add, not overheat your soap base, and pay attention to manufacturers' descriptions and customer reviews on the lather. Maybe bar hardness is important to you, a bar that lasts longer and stays harder for longer. Low sweat soaps and like cold process soap bases tend to make harder bars. But again, you'll have to play around with different brands too. Of the many brands I've tried, I find SCIF, and no, I don't know what that stands for, but I'll look it up and put it in my description. Stevenson's and Makesy, which used to be Wooden Wick, their soap bases tend to create harder bars. I'll put links for all of the soaps and manufacturers I mention, US-based links, in my description. Is earth-friendly most important for you? Look for the detergent-free soaps. There are some that say natural, even though that's not, that word natural isn't regulated in the US. Always check out the ingredient lists. Makesy makes a very clean ingredient list on in their soap bases. It's not as easy to design with in my experience, though, and they are not cheap. Really nice soaps, though, especially if you are looking to create a luxury gift or a specialty line of soaps. Several brands have bases with very clean lists, and if ingredients matter to you, learn what each ingredient does, and please don't automatically be afraid of chemical names. A reminder that water is a chemical compound. There are fearmongers out there, so when you research controversial ingredients, try to find a few sources that are pro and a few sources that are con, or an objective source, so you can make your choices with an open mind. Is your preference vegan? If so, you must read the ingredients. Obviously, soaps with most milks won't be vegan, except coconut milk, and that is a really nice base. A few soap bases include honey in the ingredients, but it's not part of the name of the soap. The same goes for silk and silk proteins. There are many vegan options out there. One of my favorites is Crafter's Choice Aloe Vera and Olive, and another is Stevenson's Crystal Carrot, Cucumber, and Aloe. My suggestion is to buy 2 or 3 samples of soap bases from at least a few reputable soap supply companies. If you want to run to the nearest craft store and grab the soap base that's on sale, well, I totally get that. Just please do your research first. Look at the ingredients, the melting point, and the lather descriptions, and don't buy a ton of one kind, no matter how good the sale is. I'll link a few of my favorite suppliers in the description. In the US, soap bases cost anywhere from around $5 to $12 for 2-pound blocks. If you order online, pay close attention to shipping as soap weighs a lot. And research the company a little. Do they make mostly soap supplies and related products, or do they make a lot of other random things? That's a red flag in my opinion. Soap bases are all so different, and I cannot say one type is better than another because that depends on what you want the soap to do or not do and how your skin reacts to the soap. That is highly personal. Just please don't buy a soap expecting to change it. We'll talk a lot more about that in a later video, the very controversial subject of what can I add to my melt and pour soap? If you have any questions or you have a soap base to recommend, please put it in the comments and tell us what you like about that specific base and what types of soap you use it to make. Okay, I'm going to take us to the screen here where I'm showing you a soap that I made during the demo, and it's a detergent-free soap. It's a really nice soap. I just wanted to show you how long it took to set up. That's why it's wrinkled. When I tried to move it, it wasn't set up yet. So I just wanted to demo a few things like that. The soap you're seeing on the screen now is one I made quite a while back. It's a geode crystal slab soap, and I actually made it in 2 stages. I had some geode soaps I'd made that I didn't really do anything with, and they were a little small to be an individual soap. So I embedded those into some Crafter's Choice Premium Crystal Clear, which is my go-to for designer soaps, and I think you'll see why when you see the clarity of it. And this gives you a nice idea of the bubble of that soap. It lathers quite well. The skin feel after the rinse of this soap to me is clean without being stripped. I don't feel like there's a film afterward, but my skin is always nice and soft. Again, everybody's skin is different, and you'll feel things differently with different types of soap. But look at that lather. That's pretty good. After I rinse here, I'm going to next demo a soap I made that is detergent-free. It's made from the same brand, the Crafter's Choice, but it's the detergent-free clear soap. I absolutely love this soap. I love the way the design turned out. It was one of my best swirls that I've ever done, and I love the way it feels. Those little black portions that you see are salt, black lava salt, and I love salt bars. They are amazing on the skin, and they do, or I should say, they can help the lather quite a bit. There are times that salt can also deter the lather, and we'll talk more about that in the lather video that I'm going to do. But look at the bubbles from that detergent-free soap. And I'm going to also mention here, while I'm finishing this up, I washed my hands 12 times in a row, no lotion, no oils, and my skin felt fabulous afterward. And the next morning, it still felt great. It felt like my skin or hands had a spa treatment. I'm not even kidding and not exaggerating. They felt so good, I kept commenting on it all night. You can ask my boyfriend. He was tired of hearing about it. That being said, you have to try them. You can't just assume a detergent-free soap is going to lather like that, because not all of them do. Some have a more creamy lather, as you'll see in the upcoming videos where I do more lather testing. If you learned anything, or if I've sparked your curiosity, please subscribe to see the rest of my beginner series, or take a look at my more advanced projects for inspiration and technique ideas. I really hope you enjoyed this and got something from it. Leave a comment in the comments below and let me know what you found most interesting. And I hope to see you again soon and hope to help you learn to become a better soaper. Thanks. Bye.